Kenyan farmers are crossing their T's and dotting their I's in a bid to increase crop production. Achieving more quality and quantity can be done through implementing productive methods of farming such as seed propagation. This serves as a catalyst of arriving at Vision 2030 in matters food productivity. On today's show, we will focus on how an onion farmer can harvest more onions by planting onion seeds through onion production. This in turn will translate to more monetary value for you as an onion farmer.
The onion is one of those products that is very good commercially. That is why we encourage farmers, because we have to empower farmers to come away from the subsistence farming where you just tend to farm a little for yourself and your family. Now you farm for the market. And the market is huge, even export market is huge for the bulb onions.
Seed propagation is one of the natural methods for sourcing new plants. This particular method of propagating plants has been witnessed in various farming such as potato farming, vegetable farming, and onion farming, just to mention a few. Despite the fact that onions have seeds where you as a farmer can get them directly, it is recommended to get your seeds for propagation from an agrovet. Farmers can access agricultural and veterinary products from these specialists. Moreover, they are exposed to credible advice revolving around characteristics of seeds ready for propagation.
And one of the things farmers should consider when they're doing their onion, first and foremost, is the variety they're going to grow. Because if you're going to be a commercial farmer, you want something that can make you money. So if you're going to pick the right variety for the product that you're growing, identify with it, know what are the management practices for that variety, and also the field where you're going to grow it. Is it conducive? What kind of soils do you have? Some soils are not very conducive for onions.
Farmers should, however, bear in mind the variety of onion seeds.
The hybrids, because we have hybrids and non-hybrids. With hybrids, a seed rate of 1 kilo goes into an acre. But for the 9 hybrids that have a lower germination rate, they need around 1.25, that's 1.25 kilos in 1 acre. Like in Kenya, onion is basically a warm climate product. It will do well in the warm areas, and also it requires water, but not as heavy or as a lot of water like you would say maybe what is in the North Rift, too heavy rainfall. So you find like areas like Loitoktok do very well. You find areas around Mount Elgon, they have onions. You go to the areas around Endarasha, Muiga, they do onions. So all those areas, when you check them, you'll see that it's warm climatic conditions areas where onion is grown. Why? Because onion likes to bulb with the sun. When there is, like when it is forming the bulb, it exposes itself from the soil so that it is hit by the sun and it turns the color. So it's a warm climate area.
Furthermore, onion seeds are perennial in nature. This is to mean that they only bloom and produce seeds during their second year. Of importance to note is that land preparation should be done in efforts to wait to plant the seedling to the field.
In the meantime, while it's in the nursery, you're preparing your field, the main field where we are going to transplant to. Make sure that the soil is well tilled, it is fine. You can prepare it into beds. Those beds help you to manage because you need to like walk in your farm. So you do a bed of maybe 3 meters, one bed, another bed 3 meters, so that in those beds, that's when you will plant, so that in between the beds you're able to walk and assess your onions or weed your onions or maybe fertilize your onions.
Soils need to be well drained, loose and rich in nitrogen. Manure or compost can be added to the soil before transplanting the seedling to the land. Onion plants are heavy feeders and require constant nourishment to produce big bulbs.
So once you have your seed ready, prepare your seed bed. Let the soil be very fine. In the establishment of the nursery, you can use a little of manure. Onion being a bulb crop doesn't require a lot of manure. If you put a lot of manure that is not well composed, it will rot. So you have to be very careful about the manure that you use. In the seedbed, for those that use the fertilizers, there are those that are embracing organic farming. They can use the manure. For the ones that are using the DAPs, you can use DAP in the seedbed. It's best to have your farm ready like at least 3 to 4 weeks before the time of planting. That way you'll have exposed the soils, and if there are pests and any weeds, you'll have dealt away with them, as compared to when you prepare the farm today and you plant it tomorrow. So we always advise farmers to do an advanced tillage of the farm so that it is ready for the crop. Yeah.
Onion production is as easy as pie. In a bid to acquire the best results, sow the onion seed in the nursery under a mulch cover. A mulch cover is an impact-resistant material aimed for long-lasting use that allows natural fertilization. Thereafter, prepare raised beds in the nursery maximum 1 meter wide. Plenty of well-decomposed compost and additional rock phosphate forms the duo that should be incorporated in the seedbed. Having made rows of 10 cm apart, sow the seeds and cover lightly with mulch.
Establish the nursery. Once you do the drill, farmers that don't know how drill is, when your soil in the nursery is very fine, do lines across the 1 meter. You can have 10 centimeters between the lines, 8 to 10 centimeters from one line to another. Then you draw a line with a stick, and in that, not very deep, maybe an inch deep, and you pour your seed along the line. It's best to hold your seeds with your thumbs and spill it over, as compared to when you shake it with a tin, because you tend to pour too much seed, and that's a wastage. And especially when it comes to hybrids, they're quite pricey, so you don't want to waste any seed.
The first 7 days upon sowing are most critical. A farmer should work tooth and nail to ensure that the seedbed is irrigated thoroughly. Irrigation for raised seedbeds is done through sprinkler irrigation and watering by hand with a hose or watering can. It is best to irrigate when there is less heat of the day. This is to avoid loss through evaporation caused by the heat of the sun.
For the next 7 days, you have to keep watering it every day until the seed germinates. Once the seed has germinated and you see it has come up, you have to remove the mulch. Otherwise, the mulch will affect the growing of the seedlings.
Irrigation has various benefits. Topping the list is to lengthen growing season, harvest more crops, save costs, thus obtaining greater returns, produce quality of crops, just to mention a few. The number of seeds planted per hectare, commonly known as the seed rate, is 2 to 3 kilograms per hectare. Following the emergence of the seed, a farmer is advised to remove the mulch.
So you have to remove the mulch and then keep watering, continue watering. For the next 5 to 6 weeks, you maintain the crop there.
Thank you very much for keeping it KTN Farmers TV. It is right about time to go on a short commercial break. Keep it horticulture farming.